Hey guys, today we're going to be examining the Nokia 808 PureView's camera and comparing it to a modern flagship smartphone. So without further ado, let's get to it. The 808 PureView has a truly amazing camera. For starters, it uses a 41 megapixel 1/1.2 inch sensor. That's 83% of the sensor size in Sony's RX100. And for optics, we've got an 8mm f2.4 lens featuring one group of 5 elements, all of which are spherical. The lens bears the Carl Zeiss branding, and from what I gather online, this wasn't just a brand deal. Zeiss was actually heavily involved with the development of the lens, and some sources even claim the lens elements are coated with the same formula Zeiss uses in their Tessar lenses. And last but not least, there's a xenon flash, mechanical shutter, and an ND8 filter. We'll be comparing it today against the Sony Xperia XZ1, and all of the shots will be straight out of the camera unless otherwise noted. Right away here, we can see how much better the contrast and sharpness is on the 808 PureView, although the colors seem a bit muted compared to the Xperia. More on that later. The 808 tends to favor a lower ISO over a faster shutter speed, which can sometimes hurt its low-light shots, but the xenon flash makes up for it a lot. When used in a pitch black room, the 808's flash absolutely roasts the LEDs on most modern smartphones. When it comes to exposure, the 808 tends to favor exposing for the highlights, while the Xperia is more balanced overall. Now, remember how the 808's colors seem muted in that first shot? That's because it almost always has a cyan cast to its images. It's easily corrected for in post, it's just something to be aware of. When it comes to video, the 808 can record at up to 1080p at 25 megabits per second. Honestly, I almost always prefer the Xperia for video though, since it can shoot 4K. Even if you don't need 4K, you can always downsample it, and you're almost always going to get a better result than the 808. Especially when you install a third-party camera app like OpenCamera, then the Xperia can shoot 4K 200 megabit log. I also noticed the 808 was a little slow to focus when it was in video mode. So time for the conclusion. The 808 was a solid 7 years ahead of its time, and for stills, I still, no pun intended, prefer it to almost any phone today. But when it comes to video, in my opinion, it has been handily surpassed. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to leave me a comment, don't forget to hit that like button, and consider subscribing if you'd like to see what I make next. I'll see you guys next time.